Hey guys, it's Charlene. Today I'm going to be creating a card using the January Fancy Dies of the month. This is called Floral Envelope. It has an envelope that opens up and all kinds of fun little floral dies that you can use with it. And then I'm also going to be using these adorable heart-shaped sprinklets. They're little clay hearts. Let's start off by creating the base of our card, and we're going to create a shaker element. So I've got a couple of pieces of cardstock here that I'm going to work with. I have some deluxe smooth white cardstock, cranberry, and then peony. I'll start by bringing in part of the January card kit of the month. This is the Infinity Hearts cover plate, and I'm going to be using 2 of the graduated hearts that are in this little set here. I have the 2 largest heart dies, so I'll start by putting these onto a piece of cranberry cardstock. That's going to create a heart outline. Then I'll use some low tack tape, and I'm going to tape them on the top as well as the bottom, and then I can run this through my die cutting machine. Now I can go ahead and carefully take out that heart border that we created. This is what's going to create the shaker element. I'll hang on to that. Everything else I can save for another project. And now I'll take the largest of the 2 hearts and I will cut this out of the peony cardstock. So not the smaller die, we're just using the larger one. Then I will remove that, and that creates the perfect little home for our cranberry heart border that we created. I'll turn this into a shaker piece. I'm going to start by adding double-sided tape all the way around the cranberry heart. As I move around the heart, I am pleating the double-sided tape. So I go around a little bit, press down, and then I adhere the tape. If I get to a sharp angle, I do trim that with scissors and start again doing that pleating action. Once I've gone all the way around the heart, I'll make sure to push down really well on the double-sided tape so I can ensure that it's adhered. I have a piece of acetate that is larger than the heart, so I'll remove all of that release tape from around the heart border from the double-sided tape that we had. And then I'll lay the heart over the piece of acetate, just making sure that there is acetate all the way behind the heart. Next, I can use my scissors and trim all the way around so that there's not any excess acetate extending beyond the edges of the heart. I have some strips of foam tape here. I'll bring these all the way along the back of the heart. So this is going over the top of the acetate. You just want to make sure none of your foam tape is showing. And you also want to make sure and butt up any of the edges right against each other because you don't want to create any spaces where your shaker pieces could escape. I have some anti-static powder. I'm running that along the edges of the foam tape. That's going to help so that little clay hearts do not stick to the foam tape. You also could use a dryer sheet for this if you don't have the anti-static powder. Next, I'll take off just a small portion of the release tape that's on the foam tape, only a tiny bit. If I take it all off, this will be much more difficult. But this is going to help me to line everything up without having to worry about doing it once the pieces, the clay heart pieces, are inside. So I'll go around the edges of the heart, make sure it all lines up, and once I'm happy and I can see that everything is where it needs to be, then I can press down on that small portion where the release tape is gone. This will leave everything else loose so I can manipulate the heart. I'll bring in our clay hearts here, being careful not to spill them everywhere because I am accident prone, but I'm going to lift up and I can add these on the inside of the heart here. So I'm just going to flatten them all out so that way when I lay down the rest of the peony heart, it's going to sit right over there without any issues. Once I have everything flattened in there, I'll just remove the rest of the release tape. While I'm doing this, I am being careful to hold the heart in place because I don't want those clay hearts I already put in there to go flying everywhere. I'm also making sure to hold up the top piece because I don't want it to fall down until I've removed that release tape. So now I can go ahead and press the peony heart down right over the top. It's going to line up exactly where it should be. And you do want to make sure and press down really well so that way none of our little pieces are going to fall out. We have this cute little shaker element now for our card. This is eventually going to get adhered on the front of an A2 size card, but first I'm going to bring in those floral dies that I showed you at the beginning, the floral envelope, and we're going to start die cutting some items for our envelope. This set consists of the envelope, 3 word dies. You have sending, smiles, and love. And then there are 3 dies, which are more like kind of foliage dies, as well as 3 stems. And you have 5 blooms and 2 leaves. So you have a lot of options with this set. I've cut out several pieces using the same peony and cranberry cardstock. I have my envelope in white. There's those foliage dies. I did some in pink, some in red. And then I cut out these 2 blooms here twice, once in pink and once in red. And this is going to allow me to layer them together. So I'll add a small dot of glue at the center, and then I can bring in the next piece and layer it right over the top of the first one. Then once it dries, I can fold up the petals on the top layer. I'll do the same thing for this one, just adding a drop of glue to the center and layering the other piece directly on top. The envelope opens, so I'll go ahead and line up everything exactly where I like it on the inside of the envelope. And once I have it there, I can flip it over and bring in a piece of low-tack tape, and that will hold everything in place. I can trim off any of the dies that are kind of peeking out from the bottom of the envelope. And now that I have those layered pieces dried, I can bend up the top layer. That's going to give us a nice little dimensional floral bud to add onto our envelope. See how cute that looks there. Before I add my florals though, I am going to stamp out a sentiment. I'm using the clear set and dies of the month called Hello Love. I'm going to stamp the Hello Love stamp on some white cardstock here using intensified black ink. So I'll make sure to get a good amount of ink here on the stamp and flip this over and press down and lift. Die cut it out with the coordinating die, added some glue to the back here, and I'm going to glue this towards the center of the envelope. I'm going to be careful only to adhere it towards the center. I'm going to keep it lifted on the bottom and top because I want to take the 2 larger floral blooms, add some glue to the back of them, and tuck them in underneath on the sentiment. So I'll take the cranberry one here and tuck it in under the right hand side. And then I can do the same thing with our pink one. I'll add some glue to the back, and then I can slide it in underneath the opposite side. Next, I'm going to add glue to the back of our double layered floral bloom here in the cranberry, and I'll pop that down here on the left-hand side of the envelope. And the pink one, I'll add some glue on the back, and I'm going to pop it here on the top of the red floral bloom on the right-hand side of the envelope. So I've got pinks and reds kind of alternating throughout. Next, I'll add some glue to the back of our shaker element that we created and flip it over, and I will adhere it to the center of an A2 sized card panel. I'm using the grid lines on my glass mat to help me line it up at the bottom point and then the top point where the sides meet. So that should put it right in the center. Oh, I can't stop shaking shakers. I love them. Okay, I've added some strong double-sided adhesive here to the back of the envelope. I'll remove that release tape and stick it onto our heart. I'm not going to put it in the center. I'm going to do it slightly right of the center. So that way, more of that fun shaker mix we have back there, the clay hearts, is going to show up when you're looking at the card. Lastly, I'll bring in a few of these clear enamel dots and I will add them here and there on some of the floral details. This will add just a little bit of interest and shine. I'll put glue all the way back on the completed card panel and adhere it to the front of an A2 size card base. So here is our finished card. Look at that fun shaker element. You have all those pretty clay hearts moving around in there. This is a very sweet card. It'd make a great Valentine's Day card or just because card because you're thinking about someone. This set has a lot of different options. All right, guys, I hope you picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you'll know about future videos here on the Hero Arts YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.